Welcome to the science class. My name is Teacher John. I'm going to take you through science, primary 4, term 3. And remember in our previous lesson, we were looking at vectors. And which vector did we look at? We looked at a vector called a housefly. We said houseflies undergo 4 stages of development. They lay eggs. Those eggs develop into pupa, into larva, the ones we call maggots. Then the larva develop into pupa, then pupa into an adult housefly. And they spread diseases like dysentery, diarrhea, typhoid, and cholera. So that was about a housefly. So today we are going to look at a vector called black fly. Now, a black fly is a vector that spreads a disease called river blindness. There is a disease called river blindness, and this disease is spread by black flies. And these black flies, they breed along fast-flowing rivers. When we say they breed along fast-flowing rivers, it simply means that they lay eggs in fast-flowing rivers. I've given an example like River Nile. So most of the black flies breed in fast-flowing rivers like River Nile. And this river blindness is caused by a germ called onchocerca. River blindness is caused by a germ called onchocerca. So sometimes they may ask you to identify the germ that causes river blindness. That germ is called onchocerca. It is called onchocerca. So that means that people who stay along fast-flowing rivers, they can get river blindness. And these black flies are also black flies are also known as 1. Ginger fly. Number 2, they are also known as simulium fly. Simulium flies. So they can be called ginger flies, simulium flies. They can also be called simulid flies. So these are other names given to black flies: ginger flies, simulium flies, and simulid flies. Why do you call them ginger flies? Because of that river Nile. It is in ginger, and the water which flows through river Nile flows very fast. So black flies are common in ginger. They breed in river Nile. Then we say they undergo 4 stages of development. Black flies undergo 4 stages of development. Black flies undergo 4 stages of development. That is eggs, larva, pupa, and adult. As simple as that. So next we look at maybe before that, we can say the 4 stages are eggs, larva, pupa, and then adult. So these are the 4 stages of development that a black fly undergoes. Next, look at ticks. Ticks. Now, ticks are both vectors and at the same time parasites. They are external parasites. Ticks are external. Ticks are external parasites. And they suck blood. They suck blood both from animals and people. So some of you may think that ticks only suck blood in animals. No, they also suck blood from human beings. So we shall first look at diseases spread by ticks to people. Diseases spread by ticks to people. Diseases spread by ticks. Diseases spread by ticks to people. Diseases spread by ticks to people. Diseases spread by ticks to people. So you find that people, when ticks suck blood from people, they spread diseases like typhus fever, then we have what we call relapsing fever. Typhus fever and relapsing fever are some of the diseases that are spread by ticks to people. There is a germ called rickettsia. That germ causes typhus fever. Rickettsia, NB. Rickettsia is a germ that causes typhus fever. Rickettsia is a germ that causes typhus fever. Rickettsia is a germ that causes typhus fever. Then we have diseases spread by ticks to animals. 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 One, we have what we call heart or here. There's a word called here. Then from that word, we are going to abbreviate diseases spread by ticks, or the ones we call tick-borne diseases. So we have the word called here. H stands for heart water. Heart water. E stands for East Coast fever. East Coast fever. S stands for anaplasmosis. Anaplasmosis. R stands for red water. Red water. So these are the diseases that are spread by ticks, sometimes to animals. Sometimes they are called tick-borne diseases. The above diseases are known as tick-borne diseases. The above diseases are known as tick-borne diseases. So in case they ask you to mention one example of a tick-borne disease, heart water, East Coast fever, anaplasmosis, and red water, you write the word here, the first letter of each disease. They form the word here. Why am I saying this? This one will help you remember these diseases easily. You write the word here, going down. H stands for heart water, E stands for East Coast fever, S stands for anaplasmosis, R stands for red water. Then, how can we control ticks? Methods of controlling ticks. Methods of controlling ticks. Methods of controlling ticks. Methods of controlling ticks. How can these ticks be controlled? One, by spraying animals, dipping animals, and then paddocking. By spraying. Number two, by dipping. We have what we call a dip tank. Number three, by paddocking. Number four, by hand picking, or what we call deticking. Deticking or hand picking. Hand picking of ticks. So you use your hands and you pick, you pluck ticks from bodies of animals and you kill them. So that's a method of controlling ticks. Then there's another one you call using egrets. Using egrets. Now egrets are birds. These are white birds that are commonly seen on animals. When they are grazing, you find them on top of animals. They eat ticks and other external parasites. Those birds are called egrets. So when they eat ticks, they are controlling them. So it's a method of controlling ticks. Deticking, we use hands to remove the ticks from bodies of animals. Paddocking is a method of grazing animals, which helps in controlling ticks. Then dipping is what we call a dip tank. And this dip tank, we put there chemicals and they dip animals there. Then we have spraying, where we use a knapsack sprayer to spray these animals to kill ticks. Then next we look at itch mites. Itch mites. Itch mites cause a disease called scabies. Itch mites spread a disease called scabies. So we look at itch mites. Now itch mites spread a disease called scabies. Itch mites spread a disease called scabies. Itch mites spread a disease called scabies. So this scabies is a skin disease. Scabies is a skin disease. How is scabies spread? How is scabies spread? How scabies is spread? Sharing clothes, sharing clothes, sharing clothes with infected people, sharing towels. Sharing towels can help spread scabies. How can you control scabies? How to control scabies? How to control scabies? How to control scabies? Now, scabies can be controlled in the following ways. One, avoid sharing clothes, avoid sharing towels, avoid sharing towels, avoid sharing towels. Number three, ironing clothes before wearing them. Ironing clothes before wearing them. So clothes should be ironed to avoid scabies. As simple as that. So next we move to first aid. First aid. Now, first aid is the immediate help given to a casualty. First aid is the immediate help given to a casualty. First aid is the immediate help. First aid is the immediate help given to a casualty. First aid is the immediate help given to a casualty. And who is a casualty? Who is a casualty? Who is a casualty? Who is a casualty? A casualty is a person who has got an accident and needs first aid. A casualty is a person who has got an accident and needs first aid. A casualty is a person who has got an accident and needs first aid. A casualty is a person who has got an accident and needs first aid. Can say a casualty is a person who has got an accident Person who has got an accident. A casualty is a person who has got an accident and needs first aid. So somebody who gets an accident and needs first aid is regarded to as a casualty. Let's look at, we said first aid is the immediate help given to a casualty. Reasons why we give first aid. 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 There are many reasons. One, to save life. We give first aid to save life. Number two, we give first aid to stop bleeding. In case of any bleeding, we give first aid to stop bleeding. Then number three, we give first aid to reduce pain. Reduce pain. Number four, to promote quick recovery. To promote quick recovery. Then number five, to prevent further injuries. So these are the five reasons why we give first aid. To save life, to stop bleeding, to reduce pain, to promote quick recovery, then to prevent further injuries. And the main reason for giving first aid is to save life. NB. The main reason for giving first aid, is to save life. The main reason for giving first aid is to save life. We look at qualities of a good first aider. 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 Number one, a good first aider should be knowledgeable. When we say a good first aider should be knowledgeable, what do we mean? It means that this person should know what to do. Not guessing, not gambling. You should know exactly what to do. If you are giving first aid for nose bleeding, it should be that. Not giving something else. So it should be knowledgeable. Number two, a good first aider should be quick. A good first aider should be quick. Remember, we are saving life. Should be quick. Number three, a good first aider should be empathetic. Being empathetic simply means You put yourself in the shoes of that person who has got an accident. Try to imagine if you are the one who would have got an accident. How do you wish other people to help you? So the way you wish other people to have helped you is the way you should feel for others. So that feeling for others is what you call empathetic. Not sympathetic, but being empathetic. In the Bible, we look at a good Samaritan. That good Samaritan was empathetic. That's why he had to help the person who was beaten on the roadside. We have so many people who are sympathetic with that person. They could pass, they look at him, they sympathize, they say, "Oh, Bambi, sorry," and they go. "Oh, Bambi, sorry," and they go. But this good Samaritan was empathetic. When he got this person beaten on the road, he had to help this person and took this person to the hospital. Reason, he was empathetic. So being empathetic, you should have that feeling for others. That's what we mean by empathetic. Then, a good first aider should be gentle. A good first aider should be gentle. Should be gentle. Number 5, a good first aider should be observant. A good first aider should be observant. When we say a good first aider should be observant, it simply means that this person should be able to observe critically somebody who has got an accident. For example, you should be able to see where the accident has occurred. Is it a cut? Is it drowning or near drowning? Is it a snake bite? Is it nose bleeding? So in case it's a snake bite, you should be observant. Where did the snake bite this person? So you should see the point of injury. And for you to do that, you must be observant. So those are qualities of a good first aider. Then you look at first aid kit and first aid box. First aid kit and the first aid box. So what is the first aid box? What is the first aid box? First aid box. A first aid box. A first aid box is a container. Where first aid tools are kept. A first aid box is a container where first aid tools are kept. A first aid box is a container where first aid tools are kept. That is what you call a first aid box. So next we look at first aid kit. First aid kit. And first aid kit is a set of tools used for giving first aid. A first aid kit. So a first aid kit is a set or collection of tools used for giving first aid. A first aid kit is a set of tools used to give first aid. Used to give first aid. A first aid kit is a set of tools used to give first aid. is a set of tools used to give first aid. That's what we call a first aid kit. Or you can say a first aid kit is a collection of tools used to give first aid. So that collection of tools used to give first aid is what we call a first aid kit. Next, we look at places where first aid boxes are commonly found. Places where first aid boxes are commonly found. So where do we commonly find first aid box? Places where first aid box, places where first aid box is commonly found. Places where a first aid box is commonly found. 1. Homes. Yes, homes should have a first aid box. You should have one at home. 2. Schools. 3. Vehicles, like taxis, especially public vehicles. Aeroplanes, ship, hospitals should have first aid boxes, petrol stations, and offices. Petrol stations, So all these are areas where first aid boxes should be found. Homes, schools, vehicles, even in mosques. So there are areas where one can find first aid boxes, including churches. Number 9, churches. So first aid boxes should be found in churches. And so in case of any accident at church, somebody is able to be given first aid. Items found in a first aid box. Items found in a first aid box. Items found in a first aid box. Items found in the first aid box. in the first aid box. Items found in the first aid box. 1, we have safety pins. Safety pins. Safety pins are found in the first aid box. And a safety pin is used for fastening the bandage. For fastening bandage. That's a safety pin. It is used for fastening bandage. Number 2, we have what you call cotton wool. Cotton wool. Cotton wool. Cotton wool is used for cleaning the wounds. For cleaning wounds. For cleaning wounds. So in case of an accident and somebody is bleeding, we use the cotton wool to clean the wound. Then we have gauze. We have what you call gauze. Gauze, it is used for dressing the wound. For dressing the wound. The gauze is used for dressing the wound. Number 4, we have surgical spirit. Surgical spirit. Surgical spirit. Surgical spirit is used for cleaning the wound or for cleaning wounds. For cleaning wounds. Number 5, we have surgical blades and razor blades. They are used for cutting the bandage. Surgical blade or razor blade. Surgical blade. Razor blade. They are used for cutting bandage. They are used for cutting bandage. Number 6, we have painkillers. Painkillers reduce pain. Remember, one of the reasons why we give first aid is to reduce pain. Painkillers. Painkillers. They reduce pain. They reduce pain. Number 7, we have surgical gloves. Surgical gloves. We have surgical gloves. Surgical gloves, they prevent infection while dressing wounds. They prevent infections. So when you are dealing with a first aid victim, please, you have to use gloves. Just reduce pain. Bandages are used for dressing wounds. Bandages, they are used for dressing wounds. So number 8, we have a bandage. Number 8, we have a bandage. Now, bandage has so many functions. Bandage, 1, for dressing wounds, just like the gauze. Then bandage can also for tying splints, around the broken bone. In case the bone breaks, we can use a bandage to tie splints. Then lastly, liniment. We have what we call liniment. Liniment is used for relieving pain, for reducing pain. To reduce pain is to relieve pain. That's what we mean by relieving pain. We have what we call liniment. In case somebody gets an accident, like a dislocation, they get liniment and they rub against the injured part. So that is all about first aid. Lastly, you need to know that a first aid box is painted with bright colors for easy identification. A first aid box is painted with bright colors. For easy identification. And most of the colors which are brightly is red, most of them are red. Painted with red color for easy identification. In our next lesson, we shall look at fractures, accidents, and fractures. Otherwise, may the Almighty God bless you abundantly.